Please stand and join us for a moment of silence and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and a salute to the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right, trustees present, starting on your left and my right, are Trustee Audrey Pinkerton, Trustee Miguel Solis, Trustee Joyce Foreman, Trustee Edwin Flores, Trustee Lou Blackburn, Trustee Jaime Resendez, and Trustee Dustin Marshall. I'm Dan Michike, Board President, and we are joined by our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Michael Hinojosa. Trustee Nuttall is attending a senior awards ceremony for her daughter, who will be graduating from Townview this year, and we're all proud of the entire family. And hopefully Trustee Nuttall will be able to join us later on this evening. Trustee Flores, if you would ask if anyone needs a translator in Spanish.
Si hay alguien que necesita los servicios de un intérprete, aquí el joven o la señorita les puede ayudar con el equipo. Gracias.
At this time, I would like to recognize any elected or public officials. I see Commissioner John Wiley Price. Welcome. Councilwoman Carolyn Arnold. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Judge Thomas Jones. Thank you for being here, Your Honor. Anyone else? Trustee Solis, is there anyone else here? Okay. Okay. All right. The next item on the agenda is the presentation of board recognitions. Ms. Proctor, would you please read the recognitions?
Yes, thank you, President Michike. Superintendent Hinojosa, Principal Janice Lombardi, Coach Paul Graham, and Marcus Garrett, please come forward. The board is honored to present a certificate of recognition to Marcus Garrett. In its 32nd year of honoring the nation's best high school athletes, the Gatorade Company announced Marcus Garrett of Skyline High School as its 2016-17 Gatorade Texas Boys Basketball Player of the Year.
Ms. Nuttall couldn't be here, but Ms. Nuttall and I got to see this young man and this great coach and this great principal have a phenomenal year at Skyline High School. This young man is going to represent the district at Kansas, I believe, playing basketball, but he's taller than all the Maverick point guards put together. And he was a great point guard, but Coach Graham was coaching at Kimball a long time ago. And we got Coach Graham out of the college ranks to come back and coach our Skyline Raiders, and they had a phenomenal season. The last 4 years have been great, but this year they went to state, and this young man represented the district extremely well, and he's highly recruited all over the country, and we're very, very proud of the team's feat, but also the class act this young man was during the entire season. Coach, principal, anything to add? Dr. Lombardi?
This particular award has to do not only with athleticism, but also with character. And so I'm very proud to be the principal of such a fine example of character, athleticism, and academics.
And if you didn't get a chance to watch Skyline play, they're disciplined, they run, they get the most alongside of their team, and we're so proud of their great accomplishments. Congratulations, young man. We look forward to seeing your name in lights for a long time to come. Congratulations.
Good luck, Marcus. Superintendent Hinojosa, please remain standing. Trustee Foreman, Principal Fred Davis, and the following team members, please come forward. Jayla Smith, Sha'Carri Richardson, Desiree Porter, Zaylin Richards, Phasia Hodges, Legend Harris, Drew Williams, Head Coach Lauren Cross, Assistant Coaches Deanna Jones, Ed Jones. The board is honored to present certificates of recognition to the David W. Carter High School Girls Track and Field Team. The Carter Girls Track and Field Team are the 4A. These young ladies are the 4A state champions.
How about them Carter Cowboys?
Well, most of you who know me know that I gloat over my high school, Carter and Kimball. I am so proud of you young ladies for not only being exemplary on the field in track, but also in school. That's what we expect of our students, and I am most proud of you. Thank you.
I just want to say that I am extremely proud as well, and I want to thank Ms. Foreman for her continued support of our school and our community. But I want to thank the coaches here who've done an outstanding job with these young ladies. We have 2 or 3 that didn't make it, but I want you to know that they represented David W. Carter. I shared with them before they left, got a little send-off for them that not only do you represent Carter, but when you go to the state, you represent this Dallas Independent School District. And so I want to thank all the athletic directors, Gil Garza, Scotty Jackson, and all the people who supported us continuously throughout our years. But this is an outstanding group of young ladies. If you've not had a chance to see them run, you'll have a chance next year because most of them are juniors. So we're looking forward to another outstanding year. But they're great group, and I'm proud of them.
Congratulations, Carter Girls Track and Field Team. Trustee Foreman, Superintendent Hinojosa, and Principal Davis, please remain standing. Team members, as your name is called, please come forward. LaKaren Mays, Robert Maston, Travion Ware, Nika Whitehead, Head Coach William Connor, Assistant Coaches Al Christian and James Spencer. The board is honored to present certificates of recognition to the David W. Carter High School Boys Track and Field Team Gold Medalists.
You know, representing Southwest Oak Cliff and Carter, I don't want to hear the negative things that come out. We've got great, outstanding students here that not only represent me and Oak Cliff, but they represent the Dallas Independent School District. And although we're up against a lot of challenges with the charter schools, look what we got. I'm proud of you guys. Keep up the good work.
I would like to say that, and one thing I didn't mention that's really critical is that every student athlete you saw here today, I assure you they've been on the honor roll all year long. And again, if you did not get a chance to see these young men run, you need to see them because most of them are juniors as well. So we got a chance to do it all over again. I'm proud of all these coaches, and they just did a wonderful job, and they continuously work in spite of some of the difficulties our young people have to face each and every day. in the streets and the neighborhood, but they found something good and they stayed with it, and they worked extremely hard at it, and they prevailed. And I'm so proud of each one of you young men, and may God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Carter Boys Track and Field Team Gold Medalists. Superintendent Hinojosa, please remain standing. Principal Marion Willard and the following team members, please come forward. Desmond Scott, Antonio Gage, David Butler, Danny Gray, Coach Howard Pagoo, Coach Kenneth Royal. The board is honored to present certificates of recognition to the great James Madison High School Boys Track and Field Team.
Unfortunately, Ms. Willard couldn't be here tonight, but Ms. Willard has brought a lot of excitement back to James Madison High School, and we are very proud. We recognize their boys basketball team who won state, and Ms. Nuttall asked me to step in and also bring greetings and congratulations to this team. This team is so fast, they sprint through sunny South Dallas, all the way past Oak Cliff, all the way to Austin, and won the state championship for us. There is a lot of excitement at James Madison High School. I even saw some of their scores for their students in their collegiate academy, and they were phenomenal. And so we predict that they're going to become out of improvement required. And of course, greetings from the school. We want to give our administration an opportunity to say something about these young men.
And on behalf of Ms. Marion Willard, she's not here. I'm the athletic coordinator, Marcus Gates. These kids work really hard. And Danny Gray also was the 100-meter champion. 3A state champion, 100 meters. And again, thank you.
See how humble they are? And unfortunately, I didn't get to see them run because I was in Austin trying to chase the legislators without much luck. But I'm glad these young men had a great season. I'm very proud of you. Look forward to come back next year up here. Thank you.
Congratulations, Madison Boys Track and Field Team Gold Medalists. This concludes our recognitions.
Okay, I'd like to recognize that Council Member Adam Magoo is here. Thank you for being here, sir. This is a special evening for the board. A general election was held on May 6, 2017 in trustee districts 2, 6, and 8. And on May 22, 2017, the board held a called board meeting to canvass the election results. As a result of the canvass, 2 of the candidates qualified to receive the certificate of election. In District 2, no candidate received a majority of the votes cast. Therefore, a joint election runoff will be held on Saturday, June 10, 2017, between Dustin Marshall and Lori Kirkpatrick. Trustee Joyce Foreman received the majority of votes cast for District 6. And Trustee Miguel Solis was unopposed in District 8. It is now time for our swearing-in ceremony of Trustees Joyce Foreman and Miguel Solis. Tonight, I will issue the certificate of election to each of the candidates. The statement of elected officer and the oath of office will be administered by a special person chosen by the candidate. Trustee Foreman and Trustee Solis, would you please join me at the front of the dais for the issuance of the certificate of election? Okay, this evening I'm proud to issue the certificate of election to Joyce Foreman, District 6, and Miguel Solis, District 8. The certificate of election is to certify that on January 26, 2017, the Dallas Independent School District called for a general election to be held on May 6, 2017, for the purpose of electing 3 members to the Dallas Independent School Board of Trustees. With the issuance of these certificates, Trustee Joyce Foreman and Trustee Miguel Solis are now eligible to qualify for office. Congratulations. Ms. Foreman, would you please remain standing at the front of the dais for the issuance of the Statement of Elected Officer and the Oath of Office? Trustee Solis, you may be seated. We'll call you down in a second.
Will the Honorable John Wiley Price, Dallas County Commissioner, and the Honorable Judge Thomas G. Jones please come forward to issue the Statement of Elected Officer and the Oath of Office to Ms. Joyce Foreman?
Good afternoon. It is indeed an honor for me to be selected to administer this oath to you. May God bless you. At that, you raise your right hand and to repeat after me and say your name. I, Joyce Foreman, do solemnly swear or affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or thing of value, or promised any public office or employment for the giving or withholding of a vote at the election at which I was elected, or as a reward to secure my appointment or confirmation, whichever the case may be. So help me God. Congratulations.
President, Mr. Superintendent, Board of Trustee members, those assembled. I didn't know if staff was challenging me to see whether or not I understood process. And did. So we got it. So Trustee Foreman, thank you. First of all, for the opportunity, but more than anything, for the service that you've given to this community. And of course, we're better off because you're here. Somebody's minding the story. Thank you. Can I get your raise your right hand as well? Repeat after me. I, your name, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of School Board Trustee for Dallas Independent School District of the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner Price and Judge Jones. Congratulations, Trustee Foreman. Trustee Foreman and Commissioner Price, will you please step to the table to sign the oath of office? Judge Jones, you may be seated. Mr. Solis and the Honorable Adam Magoo, Dallas City Councilman, please come forward for the issuance of the Statement of Elected Officer and the oath of office.
Trustees, all here, It's a huge honor to be here. It's a huge honor to be in front of you, Trustee Solis. Thank you for all your service. So goes the school, so goes the city of Dallas. And on behalf of our city council, I appreciate all your service that you do. If you would please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Miguel Solis, do solemnly swear or affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, contributed or promised to contribute any money or thing of value, or promised any public office or employment for the giving or withholding of a vote at the election at which I was elected, or as a reward to secure my appointment or confirmation, whichever the case may be. So help me God. I will now administer the state of Texas oath of office. If you please raise your right hand again. I, Miguel Solis, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of School Board Trustee for the Dallas Independent School District of the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States, of this state, so help me God. Congratulations, Trustee.
Thank you, Councilman Magoo. Congratulations, Trustee Solis.
Table. Hey, on behalf of the board, I want to thank Honorable John Wiley Price, Honorable Judge Thomas G. Jones, and the Honorable Adam Magoo for participating in the ceremony this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me formally congratulate Trustee Joyce Foreman and Trustee Miguel Solis for taking office as members of the Dallas ISD Board of Trustees. Trustee Foreman, let me ask you if you would like to make any comments.
It would be unlike me if I didn't have comments to make. So, of course I do. And first of all, good evening. I'm honored to be reelected to serve as a trustee for Dallas ISD. Students, parents, staff, and the community, I am grateful for my victory of 87.25% of the vote.
Squeaker.
With more than 4,000 District 6 voters casting a vote for me. This is nothing more than God's absolute blessing and an affirmation of what District 6 voters expected of me and what they received from me my first term. I want to thank my family, who has been my support system. In many ways, my teachers of strength and perseverance, the ones who know me best and still have loved me unconditionally. Thank you. I also want to thank my supporters in the city, who in many cases have been like family to me, and my constituents in District 6. The people who have allowed me to represent them in a way that gives me the ability to speak out about inequities in the system while working with other trustees and administration to find ways to ensure that all 158,000 students in Dallas ISD are receiving the same quality public education. As I embark on my second term as a trustee, I commit to my family, constituents, and supporters that I will not waver on asking for accountability, transparency, and equity, and a quality public school education for all students in Dallas ISD. I will continue to ask questions when I deem it appropriate, meet with the community to get their input, and meet with the staff for answers to questions and concerns. I will weigh the data and information provided to make thoughtful decisions. I will not be a pawn of any one group, organization, or individually, and specifically not those who have interest in charter schools, voucher programs, or anything that takes away from a quality public education for all of our students. That simply means I will not be swayed by the noise of some that would push to privatize public education. This term, I will focus on, but will not be limited to, equitable funding for schools, address the technology desert that exists in District 6, pre-K partnerships with 4-star daycare centers so all of our children will have access, quality of facilities, and no more charter schools in District 6. I will also address the overall procurement process for the district, the African American Initiative, the teacher evaluation system, and the financial health of the district. Please know that I solicit your prayers as I continue this journey to keep public education in the public education system. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Foreman. Trustee Solis.
I'm good after that. Just briefly, I'd like to say thank you very much to the constituents of District 8 for granting me another term and allowing me the opportunity to continue to serve all of you. I've now served in DISD for a total of 7 years, 2 as a teacher, 1 as a central administrator, and now about 4 years on the school board, having served as the board president, vice president. And it's been a lot. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from all of you. There are many familiar faces that I see in the crowd, and you all care about public education. That's clear. So I want to say thank you to all of you for giving me your thoughts, for giving me your ideas, and for helping me make the best decisions I can make on behalf of the 158,000 students that we serve. It hasn't been easy. I know these next 3 years won't be easy either. I'm 31 and I've got no hair. And it has everything to do with serving in Dallas ISD. But I love it. And thank you very much. I look forward to continuing the work of building on the foundation of my first 2 terms, ensuring that all students receive a high-quality education. Mr. Superintendent, I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you and with this board as well. Here's to another 3 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Solis. At this time, we will proceed to item 2.07 on the agenda, election of officers, president, first vice president, second vice president, and secretary of the Board of Trustees. And I will turn the gavel over to Superintendent Hinojosa to conduct the election.
Hey, Mr. President, real quick, I forgot. I just want to say thank you to my wife, too, because she would have killed me if I wouldn't have said that. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank goodness we did that, otherwise I could have gotten killed. But, trustees, this is the portion of the meeting where you elect your officers. This is the only time when your superintendent presides over your meeting. I will do so until a board president is elected. As we begin the vote, I want to point out that the first person to receive the majority vote ends the voting process for that particular position. Each nomination will be voted on as a separate item, meaning each trustee can vote once for each nominee until a single candidate receives a majority of the votes, thus ending the voting for that position. If no majority is obtained, we will continue to the next name, and if no nominee receives a majority vote, nominations for that position will open again with the same names or possible additions. All of those who are going to be in favor will be asked to raise their hands. All of those opposed will raise their hands. If those wishing to abstain may do so. Are there any questions about the process? Hearing none, thank goodness. Nominations are now in order for the office of board president.
Mr. Superintendent, I nominate Trustee Dan Mitchke for president.
Okay. Dan Mitchke has been nominated as president of the Board of Trustees. Are there further nominations for the office of president?
You can have
Are there any other nominations for office of president? Hearing none, I declare now that the president by acclamation is Dan Mitchke. The meeting is yours, sir.
Thank you. Nominations are now in order for first vice president.
Mr. President, can I make a motion?
Go ahead.
Okay. Since we are re-electing officers in June after the next election, why are we going through this function of calling out each one of these names? Why don't we just, I'd like to move that we go ahead and keep the slate that we currently have, and then in June, we will have another election.
I second that motion.
This is crazy.
Okay. So the motion is to keep the same officers.
I second it.
Okay, that would mean Trustee Flores for first vice president, Trustee Pinkerton for second vice president, and Trustee Jaime Resendez for secretary. All in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand.
Get it out the way.
Okay.
President Mitchke, but I don't want to be secretary anymore.
Quit whining over there. All right, we are now up to item 3 on the agenda. This is the public forum, speakers to agenda items. To ensure this meeting is held in an orderly manner, I'm asking speakers to refrain from using individual names and to address the board and not individual trustees. Mrs. Gully, would you please call the names of the speakers?
Yes. Speakers, you will have 3 minutes to speak. When you arrive at the microphone, please state your name and address. Our first speaker is Ola Allen, followed by Omar Jimenez.
Good evening. I am Ola Allen, residing at 4111 Summit Ridge, Dallas, Texas. To the ISD trustees and Dr. Hannah Hosen. I'm most appreciative of this opportunity to address my concern openly. I am asking the board members to not approve the DOI plan until parents have had an opportunity to voice their opinion and have a transparency conversation. Please explain why there wasn't some DOI parent meeting before the committee presented its methodical report to the board. The committee was out of order, unfair, and unethical not to involve our parents. Very little information has been shared with the parents, just a few selected, a few articles in the paper. It is imperative that we work together for the betterment of our children. Board members, were there a survey? If so, who served on it? If so, may I have a copy of the survey? I would like to view the results of the survey, especially the DOO plan impacts parents and especially students. Therefore, all parties should have an opportunity to be in the discussion. Many times, we as parents have the desire to be involved to be involved parents, but the doors are locked and the keys are lost. We have many schools that are not parent-friendly. Dr. Hannah-Hosa, I challenge you, along with school leadership, to find ways and means to have more parent-friendly schools. Please help us to eliminate the pipeline to prison by replacing it with the pipeline to education. They are board members whose children are in private learning institutions, but yet some are contemplating on voting yes for the DOI plan. It is amazing. Dr. Hannah-Hosa, please rethink about locations that will cause a hardship for students and parents who pick up and receive information. 75 North Complex is out of reach. Please rethink how students and parents can be better served by DISD. A reminder, without parents and students, there will not be a DISD. Please don't get things twisted. We are caring parents. If you tell me, I may forget. If you show me, I may not remember. But if you involve me, I'll understand.
Omar Jimenez, followed by Michael Gagne.
Good evening, President Mitch K. and members of the board, Omar Jimenez. And I'm also speaking to the board tonight against the District of Innovation because of concerns I've had. The reason why DISD is considering it is to start the school year early and hiring many professors from DCCD into the early colleges. I'm wondering if the district has even looked at any legislation that has passed recently allowing school districts to start early. And something that Trustee Pinkerton mentioned in the newspaper with our certification programs that we have in district already, we have resources there to get those teachers into our districts without having to do all of this DOI process. If you make a special program, I think that would be better if we do a special program specifically for the college professors. But there's a lot of reasons that I'm also concerned. This reminds me of Home Rule Charter, and I'm sure a lot of people remember that. With DOI, it opens the door for some things that the district can do. They can do away with class sizes without waivers needed. They can take away teachers' breaks, planning periods, and lunch breaks, and precisely eliminating SBDMs on the campuses. How is this innovating to the district? I think we already have programs that are innovative, just like our early colleges. We also have our ACE programs that are doing wonderful. So is the NAID District of Innovation just a feel-good program? All the programs that we have in DISD are good, and we have some programs that do need work, but other districts down in the valley, just like Edinburgh and McAllen, and of course I hope y'all have read the articles that I've sent y'all, decided to look at DOI simply because they wanted to start the school year early. But the community spoke out against it, the teachers, everybody spoke out against it, and so now they're creating ways to do what they wanted to do, just like moving the school calendar around. And so I am very concerned once again about DOI, and so I would hope that the school board will consider voting against it and come out with ways to improve the district and ways to implement programs without going that route. And then I also want to speak real quick. Of course, a lot of people are here to speak on the tax hike, which I support. I will support if we have that extra money, that extra revenue, go into improving our schools by maintenance and perhaps putting in for some programs and projects that the 2015 bond did not address. I thank you for your time, members, and have a good evening.
Michael Gagne, followed by Lynette Greenhawk.
My name is Michael Gagne. I live at 1455 Oates Drive, Dallas in District 3. I'm speaking on behalf of my interest in connection with the collegiate academies having brought the P-TECH model to the district in 2015. I'd like to read a letter from Microsoft, who is our collegiate academy partner at South Oak Cliff. Trustees, you should have this. It came to me right before the board meeting. In June of 2016, Microsoft began conversations with DISD regarding our support of the district's P-TECH initiative, which was soon to be launched. Based on our initial discussions, it was clear to the entire Microsoft team that if such a program was adopted by the district, it would be possible to transform the manner in which students and their families benefit from all aspects of the educational process. our team found that the approach discussed last spring established a framework reimagining how youth enrolled in high school could immediately be impacted from an immersive and rigorous academic experience that not only prepared students for graduation, but rather focused on providing experiences and opportunities which prepared them for success in higher education and their chosen career paths. Microsoft truly believes in our mission to empower every individual and organization on the planet to achieve more. As such, our support of the P-TECH Academy at South Oak Cliff High School, along with our broader support and partnership with DISD and educational institutions throughout the country, are critical to addressing one of the most important issues facing parents and youth across North Texas and the nation, which is enabling today's students to thrive in careers that will define industry and shape the societal landscape over the next century. Based upon our initial assessment of the proposed District of Innovation, we believe that the core elements that support the development and implementation of DOI are aligned with the spirit and innovation, collaboration, and educational creativity which was embodied through the creation and adoption of the P-TECH initiative. Moreover, Microsoft is committed to partnering with Dallas ISD as an innovative school district and will continue delivering learning schools, STEM lesson plans, teacher professional development, and academic curriculum leading to industry certifications for teachers and students. Thank you.
Lynette Greenhawk, followed by Brian Toney.
Good evening. I'm Lynette Greenhawk, Vice President of Education and Workforce for the Dallas Regional Chamber, 500 North Ackerd Street, Suite 2600, Dallas. President Mitch Kay, trustees, Superintendent Hinojosa, thank you for the opportunity to address you this evening about agenda items 4.01 and 4.02 to approve the local innovation plan to designate Dallas ISD as a district of innovation and to approve the resolution to initiate the process of designating Dallas ISD as a district of innovation. The Dallas Regional Chamber is deeply invested in strengthening the region and its vibrant business community. One of the 3 core priorities of our 5-year strategic plan, Building Tomorrow Together, is strengthening the local education pipeline to ensure all students are not only graduating at higher rates, but are prepared with the relevant skills and training they need to compete for today's jobs and those of tomorrow. Becoming a district of innovation aligns directly with the Board of Trustees' goals, the district's student achievement goals, and the district's strategic initiatives. It will provide Dallas ISD flexibilities to better compete with local charter schools, and more importantly, to better meet the needs of our students. An earlier start date creates balanced semesters, additional instructional time, completion of fall exams before winter break, and time for students to take advantage of summer dual credit coursework. Flexibility on teacher certification requirements for CTE and dual credit coursework is a vital component to providing the highest quality educators in the classrooms that most directly impact preparation for workforce and future careers. Credentialed post-secondary educators leading dual credit classes for both comprehensive high schools and the new collegiate academies are very important, as well as providing professional and certified instructors with direct industry experience in career and technical education areas. The Dallas Regional Chamber is committed to driving improvements in education to ensure students graduate with the skills they need to succeed, and the business community has direct access to a talented workforce. We applaud the thoughtful and strategic work of the District of Innovation Committee and agree with the recommended flexibilities. On behalf of the more than 1,100 business members of the Dallas Regional Chamber, we support the board and administration as your partner and strongly urge the Board of Trustees to approve the District of Innovation plan and designation. Thank you.
Brian Toney, followed by Brendan Valdez.
Good evening, President Mitch Kay, trustees, Superintendent Hinojosa, and everyone who's here tonight. My name is Brian Toney, and I'm a resident at 3230 Maple Avenue, Dallas, Texas 75201, and Dallas ISD's District 5. I'd like to use my time to encourage the board's approval of the local innovation plan to get Dallas ISD designated as a district of innovation. As a member of the millennial generation, I've witnessed and experienced firsthand many of the most innovative strides that we have made as a society. I remember playing the Oregon Trail on a computer with dial-up connection. I'm, young enough still to have taken more Ubers and Lyfts than taxis. And now here we are talking about innovation and education. Students are learning with iPads instead of chalkboards, smart TVs instead of those old projectors with the light bulbs that you had to switch out. Innovation is literally all around us. But the ironic thing about becoming a district of innovation is that it's really not all that innovative. 300 of Texas's 450 school districts have already declared themselves districts of innovation. Charter schools are already beginning their academic school years 2 full weeks earlier than Dallas ISD schools. The industry fields that our career and technical education programs are preparing our students for are innovating always, continuously, daily. The Dallas Independent School District cannot afford to limit the potential of its 155,000+ students by refusing to innovate, by accepting complacency, and by robbing students of the opportunity to learn from credentialed, industry, or post-secondary teachers that are practitioners and knowledgeable in their subject areas. They have a right to a flexible school calendar. I'm a believer in and an advocate for public education. I've bragged on Dallas ISD to legislators in Austin about how we've been leading the state in many crucial areas. Myself and other millennials who are here, we're here to show that we care about the city and the future of this district. I ask you to consider these thoughts and opinions as this age group, as we mature and vote and run for office. And we'll make sure that, I guarantee it, that we'll make sure that Dallas is moving forward. The DOI committee, which one of my millennial friends, Daisy Jamaica, served on, outlined mitigating strategies in this plan to make sure that it is properly implemented for the betterment of all Dallas ISD students. I urge you to give yourselves the flexibility for Dallas Independent School District so that you can best serve each and every student. Thank you.
Brandon Valdez, followed by Emerson Hartley.
Good evening, DISD Board of Trustees. My name is Brandon Valdez, 3032 Silverton Drive, Dallas, Texas. I'm a senior at W.T. White High School, and I graduate tomorrow. I am spending my last day as a student speaking in support of designating Dallas ISD as a district of innovation. Over the past few decades, our country has become more and more connected with others through globalization. The reality is that graduates of DISD schools are not only going to be competing in the workforce against one another and graduates from across the country, but they will need to compete with others from across the world. Graduates of DISD schools must be prepared in order to compete on the global stage in fields such as technology, business, and healthcare. I am asking that the Dallas Independent School District lead the path forward and set an example by becoming a district of innovation, and in doing so provide its students with greater opportunities and a more promising future. I know that DISD has the greatest teachers because I have had firsthand experience, and DISD has produced great leaders and great innovators. Let us continue being great. Let us produce the best leaders and the best innovators, not only for Dallas, but for the world. Let our future leaders and innovators learn from experts and local college professors. If these experts are passionate about what they do and want to help create the next generation of their field, then I support them. In closing, we are the future. We don't have to wait to find out if the future will be promising or not. We can know tonight if our future is in good hands. Our students deserve the best possible education in technology, business, and healthcare from experts and local college professors. Thank you.
Emerson Hartley, followed by J.J. Punce.
Good evening. My name is Emerson Hartley, and I live at 418 North Willamette Avenue in Dallas ISD District 7. I'm an 8th grader at W. Garner Middle School and will be attending Sunset High School in the fall. I would like to take a moment and to tell you why I support Dallas ISD becoming a district of innovation. I am lucky enough to have 2 loving parents at home who are active in my education. My mother uses Parent Portal, and my brother and I, who is graduating from Sunset next Tuesday, and I know that she always knows if our grades fall below a 75, and if you know my mother, you know that we work hard to never let that happen. Unfortunately, many of my peers do not have parents who are active in their education, and that's where Dallas ISD's mission of education for all students for success comes in. Teachers and staff and administrators of Dallas ISD have to be prepared to help level the playing field of all students who attend the school in the district. They must have the freedom to set high expectations of their students and be creative in their mission to educate a diverse student body, such as the one we have in Dallas. Dallas ISD needs the flexibility and money to get qualified people to become teachers in the new Collegiate Academy public schools of choice and pre-K programs. The district needs the ability to make sure that the Collegiate Academy and dual credit students are not behind our peers in college coursework, because of what's the point of having these inabilities if we're constantly playing catch up. While it is true that we are the future workforce, entrepreneurs, small business owners and CEOs of this great city, we are also the future mentors, volunteers, and philanthropists. Now it is the time to invest in making sure our education prepares us to get out there and find challenging careers and begin giving back to our company. I am proud to be a product of Dallas ISD. I urge you to vote in favor of the local innovation plan to designate Dallas ISD as a district of innovation. Thank you for allowing me to speak and for your attention this evening.
JJ Ponce, followed by Daniel Risky.
JJ Ponce, 415 Allison Drive, Oak Cliff, Dallas, Texas. First off, big thank you to our 2 students from DISD who had the courage to come in and stand up and get involved. The school district is absolutely, unequivocally all about students. It's about teaching the children of our communities. Having the flexibility to choose a start date that makes more sense and the limited flexibility to choose teachers for hard-to-fill positions is a decision that's right for students. And it's that second one that really needs our support. All too often, I hear stories just like the one that I've experienced with the young DIS student that I mentor. She, for half of this school year, did not have a teacher in her dual credit class. A dual credit class that most adults would have trouble teaching themselves. She, for a whole semester, had to learn from a textbook, and that is unacceptable. We cannot put the burden of teaching on our students. When we talk about effectuating positive change in our community, this is where it starts with these decisions at this level. We've made a promise to our students. We've committed to them that they can take these classes, that they can enroll in these programs, that they can earn college credit. The thought of students sitting in an empty classroom while there are professionals out there who are qualified, college professionals, business professionals, industry experts, ready and willing to teach them is unexcusable. An empty classroom does not serve our students. A vacant classroom is not right. This is why I strongly urge our community and I strongly urge our Board of Trustees to make the right decision for students and vote for the District of Innovation. Thank you.
Daniel Risky, followed by Karen Easel.
Hi, thanks for having me today. My name is Daniel Risky, and I'm a representative of Southwest Airlines at 2702 Lovefield Drive. I'm here to speak on behalf of the District of Innovation. That is a partnership that we have formed with DISD, working on the P-TECH and the Collegiate Academies program, working specifically with North Dallas High School. As we look at what this program is and what we're with the District of Innovation, we're a huge fan of the idea of it, because one of the big gaps we see is getting students into an employment sector. They're missing things when they're coming out of college. And given the ability to hire teachers that will have the dual credit access, that they'll be able to go through some of those college experiences and coming out with more experience than what regular high school graduates have, prepares them for the workplace. I'm on a team that specifically works with college interns, high school summer camp. We work with students every day. And one of the things that we see is there's gaps in those skills of those students coming out. whether it's different programs that they're looking at or even just the industries that are out there. And so opportunities like the collegiate academies and the P-Tech programs give us the opportunity to really engage with those students, just like the letter from Microsoft, where we can help build students that are ready to get out in a career, whether that's with Southwest or another organization. We want to build them for a future, especially as companies are out there looking at tuition reimbursement and doing more in the education world. If we can get them to an earlier stage, then they can start that job and get the rest of that education paid for at one of these organizations. There's a lot of opportunities out there, and because of that, I think that this District of Innovation and allowing those teachers to be brought in, allowing the school years to tie in with those college years is really going to be a big step for the ISD. I appreciate your time, and thank you guys.
Karen Ezel, followed by Tom Chesney.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, trustees, and Superintendent Hinojosa. My name is Karen Ezel, and I am a representative of the Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship, 301 North Market Street, Dallas, Texas. I wanted to address the idea of in support of becoming a District of Innovation. In the past 13 years, we have delivered an entrepreneurship program to over 20,000 students in DISD. During the 2017-2018 school year, we will be increasing our reach to include the students at the P-Tech High School in Seagoville and coordinating with Eastfield College to offer dual credit in their intro to business class, and are thrilled to be part of this venture. However, as the director of our program, my concern is that students who participate in this class during the first semester will be at a significant disadvantage to the other students who take the class during the second semester. With college courses starting a week earlier than Dallas ISD, students enrolled will have one less week to grasp content, prepare for exams, and complete the required course requirements. While a week may not seem like a great deal of time, in a course where the foundation of their initial business knowledge is obtained can be significant. Where do you reduce content? Is it in the study of market research and a student researching their business ideas? Is it in the business financials as they collect and develop their financial investments and their ability to determine their profit margin? Or is it in their marketing plan on how to deliver their product and sell their product to their constituents? Providing this content in 18 weeks can be daunting at best, but to align it with the college level course, which not only begins a week earlier, but also ends earlier in the first semester, could potentially result in not only poor performance, but the perception that these college level courses may not be something they are cut out for. And I don't think that's what we want to do. Sorry. Given the amount of time, effort, and resources that have been allocated to not only the startup of many of these collegiate academies throughout the district, shouldn't we also provide the best vehicles for success for our students by requesting an earlier start date from the state? Remember, the difference in age alone between a 9th grader and a 10th grade student enrolled in a college level course at Seagoville and students enrolled in the same course at Eastfield could bear a minimum of 5 years difference. I believe our students are capable and can be successful, but only if we level the playing field for all involved. Therefore, I ask that you cast a vote for a District of Innovation. Thank you very much for your time.
Tom Chesney, followed by Elizabeth Weller.
My name is Tom Chesney. I'm president of Brookhaven College and representing all 7 colleges of the Dallas County Community College District, 1601 South Lamar Street, Dallas, 75215. President Mitchke, trustees, Superintendent Hinojosa. On behalf of my colleague presidents and the over 10,000 students that the DCCD early college high schools and dual credit programs already serve, I'm here to urge you to approve Agenda Item 4.01, District of Innovation. Doing so will support the already innovative and forward-thinking decisions that you and your DCCD trustee peers have made to vastly increase the college-ready, college-attending population of DISD students through the creation of an additional 19 early college high schools with multiple career pathways, nearly 50 local employer partners and still counting, and dozens of university transfer agreements through which students can simultaneously graduate high school and college and continue their studies towards a baccalaureate degree immediately before or upon entering the workforce. As 2 of the largest education providers in the state, we have together already made a significant fiscal commitment to existing and future capital and human resources. Tonight, you have an opportunity to ensure a more sustainable, resilient, long-term partnership, especially as it relates to scheduling and instruction. First, the DOI's flexible start date will allow our two district calendars to align and balance instruction, academic support, and engagement activities over 2 semesters of equal length. Second, providing flexibility in teacher certification requirements will help guarantee that there is never a shortage of qualified, committed, and caring instructors for all students participating in dual credit and career and technical education. Imagine the learning benefits for students who instructors are, through DOI provisions, dually credentialed by the DISD and the college district to teach, guide, and support students along their entire grade 9 through 12 pathway. Imagine the value to students who might get to learn from an experienced CPA accountant, a computer engineer, or a medical doctor who has also undertaken specialized, rigorous DISD classroom orientation, training, and ongoing evaluation. Imagine also receiving thousands of letters from throughout the DISD, like the 100 I have in front of me, that I'm holding from Thomas Jefferson Early College High School students who have in their first year already thanked me for hope and a chance at a better life. I carry these letters with me every day of work as a reminder of the promises we've already made and most certainly must keep. So I encourage you tonight to make an initial 5-year investment in the well-regulated, monitored, and continuously measured District of Innovation proposal before you. It already has the overwhelming support of the DOI and district advisory committees, our cities, its employers, and your largest education partner, the DCCCD. Your vote will ultimately be recorded as an action of a premier urban school district in keeping with your district vision. Thank you.
Elizabeth Weller, followed by Ryan Wyndham.
My name is Beth Weller. I live at 2720 Wimbledon Court in Carrollton, Texas. I have 2 children who have graduated from DISD and a son who's still in high school. I am here to ask you to vote in favor of DISD becoming a District of Innovation and especially support the provision allowing schools to employ uncertified teachers in limited circumstances. The demand for career and technology classes is high. Computer science, healthcare, and trade classes give our kids skills they need for their futures. The demand for dual credit classes is also increasing. The board recognized the importance of dual credit when it voted to give it the same weight for class rank as AP classes. The early college high schools will increase the demand for dual credit on our campuses. Students in these early college programs and those with access to transportation to go to community colleges are already taught by uncertified teachers every day. No one expressed any concern when my daughter being taught by uncertified teachers when she took 4 classes at Brookhaven College. She got a great education there, and I know our community colleges will give great educations to all of our students in the early college programs. But what about the other 90-some% of our students on our comprehensive campuses? They are not in those programs and do not have access to transportation to drive to a community college every day for those opportunities. Our high school should be able to hire professors from DCCD, SMU, UTD, UNT, DBU, etc., as well as experts in fields such as computer science, healthcare, and the trades, so all of our kids get the best education possible. If you do not vote to become a DOI, you are voting to leave behind the majority of our students.
Ryan Wyndham, followed by Rachel Sackett.
Good evening, trustees. My name is Ryan Wyndham, and I live at 111 South Rosemont Avenue in District 7 in Dallas. While I'm a soon-to-be Dallas ISD parent, I'm also an owner of Cummings Electrical, a proud PTAC industry partner at Hillcrest Collegiate Academy, and I'm here tonight in that capacity to support the District of Innovation local plan. As an industry partner, my company is honored to help mold our next generation of workforce and leaders, both in our industry and our community. We offer an industry with high pay, endless growth opportunity, and the satisfaction of watching your work develop into notable community assets right before your own very eyes. There's an immense pride in knowing you helped build something that could be the next Cowboys Stadium, Perot Museum, or Fountain Place. The construction industry in general is desperate for an influx of smart and capable workers. We believe that the flexibility offered by the District of Innovation Plan in bringing the most capable and qualified career and technical education instructors will pay massive dividends in a short time. As the more we can help develop students in these stages of learning, the faster they can reap the rewards offered. We have an opportunity to provide the next generation with a bright and successful future. My company is ready, willing, and downright excited to do our part to provide access to these high-quality jobs for Dallas students. I'm here tonight to ask that the district do what it can to ensure our kids are ready for the opportunities we will make available to them. Support of the District of Innovation status is our next step in working together to provide our Dallas students with the best opportunities for success.
Rachel Sackett, followed by Mita Havlick.
Good evening, I'm Rachel with Southland Holdings. We are a partner with the Collegiate Academy and Wilmer Hutchins. We're one of the largest heavy civil contractors in North America, based right here in Dallas. And we have over $100 million worth of work that we don't have skilled workers for. And that's why we're partnering with the Collegiate Academy. I'm here to support the DOI, like Southwest Airlines and Microsoft and many of the other corporate sponsors. We want to see our children be educated in an innovative way. We want to be partners. We want to help with our resources and with our people. We have many professionals, PEs, PhDs, master's degree holders that can help and assist these children with getting a great education. We also support getting the start dates changed. Like many of the people here have said tonight, by getting these start dates changed, we can get these kids out into the workforce faster, getting them a livable wage. So I encourage you to adopt the DOI and give these kids a great chance.
Mita Havlick, followed by Edward Turner.
Mita Havlick, 5331 Monticello Avenue. As you vote on the District of Innovation Plan trustees, I ask you to keep the following in perspective. Please keep in perspective that the local innovation plan is asking for flexibility. It is not mandating a change in the calendar or forcing the district to fill every hard-to-fill vacancy with a non-certified instructor. HCM will still hold job fairs, recruitment events, and consider referrals from employees. The DOI is an additional recruitment vehicle. It has been suggested by some trustees that the district use an existing TEA process to hire non-certified instructors. This option is bureaucratic, the DOI is straightforward, yet both result in hiring non-certified instructors. Keep in mind, keep in perspective, that the scope is limited, but the impact is huge. Filling just a few vacancies will positively impact hundreds, if not thousands, of our students, and that is an immediate positive return on investment. Keep in perspective that there is no conspiracy theory. The DOI is not home rule, and it is not the first step to a future board policy that will eliminate teacher certification requirements, teacher planning periods, teacher salary schedules, or teacher contracts. The District Advisory Council is primarily comprised of teachers and principals, and they will never vote to have that plan come before you, our Board of Trustees. What ifs and conspiracy theories are not reasons to vote no. Please keep in perspective that it all starts with the principal. Principals are measured on the effectiveness of their teachers, and they will not hire non-certified candidates if it's not a good fit. Today, certified teachers are turned away. I have no doubt that non-certified teachers will be as well. Dallas ISD teachers and principals overwhelmingly support DOI, and here are some of their reasons. From a STAR teacher, quote, "My teaching certificate proves I have content knowledge. My teaching certificate has nothing to do with me being recognized as a distinguished teacher. It's about what I bring to the classroom every day." Another great teacher, "I came to DISD the alternative way. Alternative certifications were feared by traditional teachers, but I know I'm a good teacher. No one asked where I got my certification, so maybe it's time to look for other alternatives." From an award-winning principal, "Just like I don't hire every certified teacher, I won't hire every non-certified instructor." From a Molina District 7 teacher, "I'm tired. I'm tired from teaching my own students and then sitting with a full-time sub teaching her. It would be a greater service to all students if the instructor knew the subject matter. I would happily coach, mentor, and help them with classroom management and lesson planning." I ask you to keep all that in perspective when you vote this evening. By voting yes, you will support the limited scope of the DOI and its large and positive impact. Each trustee tonight has been given a thick packet of support for the DOI, and that packet includes letters of support from our industry partners, as well as signed letters from Dallas residents and stakeholders. Also in that packet is evidence of DOI successes in school districts such as El Paso and San Antonio ISDs. I urge you to read each one of these inserts in your packet so that you will know the impact of your vote. Thank you.
Edward Turner, followed by Kristen Yazdan Panah.
Hi, my name is Edward Turner. I reside at 3011 Park Road, Dallas, Texas 75215 in District 9. As many of y'all know, I am very active in South Dallas, and I am a part of many organizations that focus on improving education in all children in DISD. Today, I'm not here to represent any organization. I am here as a concerned citizen and most importantly, an independent thinker. While many of my friends, who I have the highest respect and deepest love for, are on different sides of DOI, I stand here before you on the record 100% in support of DOI, because DOI is not home rule. I fought against home rule, and DOI is not home rule. This is why we need DOI. There is a war between charter schools and traditional public schools, and to be frank, some of these charter schools are kicking our butts left and right. DISD enrollment is decreasing every year. Charter schools are increasing their market share of students due to flexibilities allowed to them by the state. It's called market competition. This particular DOI went through a rigorous process on DOI committee members made up of teachers, parents, business leaders, community members that were selected by the superintendent and trustees. So this was not a top-down approach, unlike home rule. Unfortunately, the state requires standardized testing. Therefore, flexibility in start dates for schools is essential to instructional time for all students. DOI also allows flexibility in hard-to-fill positions in career and technical educational and dual credit courses only when highly qualified and certified teachers aren't available. This is only for 9th through 12th grade students, not for elementary or middle school. DISD has already set the bar by expanding the collegiate academies. DOI is going to give these students the opportunity to graduate with up to 60 college credit hours. To me, this is a no-brainer. I don't know about you, but every month I get this bill in the mail from Sally Mae, and sometimes I wish it had 60 hours on it that was college credit free. So, I'm asking DISD trustees, especially the good bros, Philemon Filie Sukis, as I lean on the shield to support Districts of Innovation. Thank you.
Kristen Yazdan Panah, followed by Kay First.
My name is Christian Yazdan Panah. I live at 1028 Pavilion Street. Just really quickly, y'all are going to be voting on 7.10 to enter into agreements for professional development for ACE campuses. I specifically hope that you vote on that because my understanding is that they will be focusing on equity training in addition to bias, prejudice, power, and privilege. The reason why that is important is because raise your hand if you have ever been negatively affected by discrimination or by bias or prejudice. Sexism, racism, xenophobia, homophobia, right? Everybody in this room, right? Do we teach our kids any of that stuff? In DISD, do we teach them about bias and prejudice, power and privilege? Hell no. Because if you did, what you would realize, and let me just make some quick observations. Didn't this district with a bunch of other districts sue TEA, and the Texas Supreme Court said that y'all are being underfunded, right? And that it was a disgrace, right? Y'all are getting screwed over, and then TEA says take it up with the legislature. What did the legislature do today? Screwed us again, right? Majority Hispanic and black kids, right? A white, male, Christian, heterosexual legislature screwed us again because the roots, if you start talking about the roots, and then what happens? Everybody says, well, we got to get the data. We got to make TA happy. We got to get this data, right? And what ends up happening? Everybody says, let's get the data. But do they take into account, look at commit. You know that pipeline that they got? Do they take into account the students who have been centralized into poverty? Do they? Hell no. The asbestos that's going into schools? Show me all these partners who show up at SOC and Zoomwall. Show me the mayor who says gross out but don't say about the asbestos. Right? Because if you want to get real, that racism that's coming from the Trump, that's coming national to state, you see this in the state, and ain't none of y'all standing up and doing nothing. And you know what? When your students They call me when they want to protest. And they say, I'm scared that Trump is going to lock up my parents and send them back to Mexico. I'm scared that they're going to shoot my homie because he just got shot and the police just killed my boy. And y'all are just sitting here, oh, I guess we'll, and look, everybody's in here, they're going to ask you for $20 million, right? Everybody's going, let's just get $20 million. But you know what? In 2 years, the legislature is going to screw y'all again. At what point do y'all stand up and say enough is enough? We ain't taking y'all's damn tests no more. Because it is racism and sexism. Bathroom bills. Get out of here with the bathroom bills. That shouldn't even have been a conversation. But y'all are the trustees. Y'all got to stand up and do something revolutionary. Listen to Stokely. But keep on.
Kay first, followed by Kay first, followed by Barbara Latoire's son. Kay first, followed by Barbara Latoire's son. Jonathan, huh?
Mr. President, Mr. Superintendent, and members of the Board of Trustees. My name is Barbara Latoisson. I am the pastor of St. Mark AME Zion Church in the 5th District, and I am a member of TOPS. I am here today because as a concerned pastor, my church adopted one of the schools in the district, the William Brown Miller Elementary School. And in an attempt to adopt that school, we provided some wraparound services. We bought school uniforms. We bought detergent so that they could wash clothes for kids. We provided support so that kids could go to school and get a decent education. As a member of TOPS, we are here to solicit the Board of Trustees to prayerfully reconsider the TRE 13 cent TRE. As you consider it, we want you to reconsider it because we want our school systems to become a vehicle that will counteract trauma and concentrated poverty that creates trauma for our people. We have to create schools where our students are college ready. We need to be able to allow the 80% of the students who are graduating from our classes, from our schools, who are not college ready to be college prepared. We need an equitable education for our students. The DISD students, we pay the same amount or get the same per student as the Highland Park ISD, but Highland Park does not have the issues that we have here in DISD. Issues that have to be overcome, issues that have to be mitigated. And in mitigating those things, it's going to cost money. You know that the Texas legislature has deducted $60 million from the budget. And I understand that Superintendent Hinojosa has proposed a tax swap. In my estimation, being a country girl, we used to call that robbing Peter to pay Paul. And when you rob Peter to pay Paul, in my household, I always wind up with a deficit and I'm never able to recover from it. And so we're asking you to consider what's best for our students. We're asking you to consider not robbing Peter to pay Paul, but that you create a program where we are not taking from our deficit or decreasing our liquidation process, and we add money that we are not having to renegotiate and put it someplace else. In closing, I'm asking you to do one simple thing. Do what you were elected to do, to represent the people. Don't think for us, think with us. Put it on the ballot and allow us to make the decision.
Jonathan Feinstein. Jonathan Feinstein, followed by Stefan Berthelsen.
Good evening. My name is Jonathan Feinstein, 6105 Riger Avenue, 75214. I stand here as a member of the Strong Schools, Strong Dallas Coalition that is fighting for the full and equitable funding of Dallas ISD schools. We're doing that first by advocating for a 13-cent tax ratification election, which would generate $122 million in additional annual operating revenue. We recognize that that is not the end of the line. That's not what we're here solely fighting for, but it is one step in the right direction. Over the past few months, this coalition that you see standing have surveyed more than 1,500 teachers, students, parents, and voters from across the district. Let me tell you what they said. 62% do not think DISD currently has enough money and resources to provide a great education to every child. 58% would be willing to contribute a full 13-cent increase on their property taxes, and 67% would be more likely to do that if the district were held accountable for reaching certain goals. So, given these results, our coalition will continue to call for increased revenue for schools, an equitable distribution of not just these funds, but all funds, and accountability measures to ensure resources are well spent. DISD does not currently have enough money to invest in the supports that our students need. And just 2 weeks ago, the board reviewed a 2017-18 budget that calls for $60 million in cuts. Proposed cuts will increase teacher-student ratios, reduce important supports related to college and career readiness. The reality is students and families shouldn't have to choose between librarians and early childhood education, counselors and better pay. The truth is our students and families need more supports, not fewer. And in doing that, cutting the budget, reducing these resources, we're hurting our kids' chances to escape the cycle of poverty. The district has been doing great things, making strong progress, but we know that there is a lot more that can be done. And we just call on this board and administration to act. DISD has the third lowest tax rate of 55 districts in North Texas and hasn't adjusted its M&O rate for the last 10 years. We keep talking about charter schools and so on. 30 neighboring districts have already passed a TRE in the last few years that they're using that revenue to compete with us. The board and administration should also move forward with a comprehensive equity assessment conducted by an external third party. And not only that, the board and the administration should publicly commit to use these findings to change policies and procedures, ensure resources go where they're needed the most, and eliminate the broad, wide racial disparities that continue to exist in the district. The question is, what's our priority here? Is it doing what's politically easy so that we avoid the hard conversations about how we're failing too many students? Or is it about making sure that we provide an excellent education for each and every kid? And if that's not the conversation, we're making a mistake.
Your time has expired. Stefan Bertheson, followed by Arnulfo Garza.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Stefan Berthelsen. I am at 1409 North Zang Boulevard. In addition, I'm a teacher in Dallas ISD. I teach 5th grade at Stephen C. Foster Elementary. This evening, I'd like to submit this exhibit to the board. This is an Expo Marco that I happened to bring to the board today because I had it left over in my pocket. And it symbolizes, to me, the lack of resources we have in our schools. Why? Because I had to buy this myself, or it came from donors' shoes. I'm not even sure which one, right? And the chronically under-resourced schools are something that is not something that's a personal affront to me. I'll buy supplies over and over and over again if it means my children receiving an equitable education. When I think about my students, I ask myself, would I want my own kids to go to the school that I teach in? Would I want them in my own class? And personally, that's sort of a misnomer right now. I got married a little bit ago, and my wife and I are considering where to buy our house, and we're committed to Dallas ISD. She's a teacher too, and we're committed to putting our schools here in our students here in Dallas ISD when we have kids. However, as we sit here and think about the looming budget cuts that are coming, there's going to be more things that teachers are going to have to pick up the tab for. There's going to be more things that are going to be cut, like psychological and counseling services that our students desperately need, because I don't have time to figure out every single time one of my students has a problem how to deal with it. And I'm not professionally equipped to do that. When I think about my commitment to having my students in our schools here, I know that there are many, many other parents and students who do not have the same option as I have to be able to move away, to be able to do other things. And I'm committed to stay here, but I think about if they don't have the continued resources that we need to provide, how will we continue to move forward on the gains that we have been making over the past couple of years? And so I submit to this board that we need to put this before the people. At least let the people decide. If the board votes to put a TRE, 13-cent tax ratification election out, you guys are not saying that's the law of the land. You're letting people decide. You're letting the teachers decide. You're letting the students decide. You're letting the parents decide. You're letting the community decide. I submit to the board that before we move forward on a tax swap, we first need to reconsider the TRE election. As a member of Strong Schools, Strong Dallas, we, the community, submit to that board and hope you will move on it. Thank you.
Anil Garza, followed by Nethel Jackson.
Good afternoon. It's Arnulfo Fogarza. My address is 5930 Birchbrook Drive, Dallas, Texas, 75206. So I'm Arnulfo Garza. I work as a bilingual community organizer with Faith in Texas. I'm speaking to the board today as a concerned citizen, as a voting constituent, and as a member of the Strong Schools, Strong Dallas Coalition. So we are here today because we believe in the power of education to grant students the freedom of upward mobility, the freedom to be active and contributing members of our society, and the freedom to have a significant impact in all our futures. I speak to people across the DISD every day, Black, Latino, white, Christian, Muslim, Jewish, rich, poor, middle class, all who deem the school funding issue to be an important and critical to the well-being and the success of our students and our society. Not once has a parent joked about funding or building sandcastles, as people have mentioned before. I want to urge the DISD today to consider placing the 13-cent TRE on the ballot for this fall, so we can more fully fund public schools and allocate funds to programs which help create more equitable education and which help create more equitable education for our students. Since I have a minute, in 2010 I graduated from my undergrad, or I was graduating this spring. I had a chance to do a study abroad trip in Spain where I was teaching English. I was sitting in Albuquerque on the side of a castle, and the whole time I was there, I was overwhelmed with joy. I was thinking, why am I here? How could I possibly be here? And so I started backtracking and thinking, how did I get to the place where I am? So I'm a first-generation Mexican-American. My parents came to the US. I was able to go to college because of my parents' continuous urgency for us to get educated. And I realized that the reason that I was able to be there was because of the education that I was able to receive. Because not just because my parents were consistent in urging us to go to school, but also because the schools that I went to were good schools that were well funded. Because I took advantage of programs that were well funded in our district. And so this is part of the reason why I want to urge you guys to consider the TRE. It's not gonna fix everything, but at least it'll be a step in the right direction. So.
Nethel Jackson.
Good evening. To the Board of Education, Superintendent Hinojosa, Nethel B. Jackson, live at 2851 Toluca, Dallas, Texas, 75224. I come because I'm concerned and as well as a homeowner for some 40 years. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you, Trustee Farmer, for all what you do. Yeah. Thank you on the behalf of District 6. My friend, Celeste, thank you as well. is I can turn my attention to 7.22, approve or to amend the budget for May 25th. Your mission state educating all students for success. Student achievement data state African American students lag significant in reading, math, and other course subjects. State math test shows 60% of African American students across Texas pass, but only 49% of African American teens enrolled in DISD, the same test. Dallas ISD spend more money on early childhood education, choice school, and other programs that do not address the need of the African American student. Trustee Farmer, Trustee Blackburn, I am reminded of the word of Dr. Carter G. Woodson in his book, The Miseducation of the Negro in 1933. He said, listen, he said, blacks are the only group of people who takes their most precious possession, their children, and give it to the oppressor to educate them and to mold and to shape them. Superintendent Hannah Hoser and trustee, you have the resource to close the achievement gap. The achievement, it all depends on men and women of goodwill to do what Malcolm X said. Education is the passport to the future. For tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. We celebrate Malcolm X's birthday, May 19th. He fought for equality and fairness for all. Many of us remember May 17, 1954, Dr. Blackburn. The United States Supreme Court handed down its ruling.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Your time has expired.
In the case of Brown versus Topeka Castle.
Okay, trustees, if there are no objections, we will take the speakers to non-agenda items. And I want to take one speaker out of order. That would be Ms. Tatum, who is an employee of DISD, and she is here with some of our students to talk about the influence of STEM on students with special needs. Any objections? No objections.
Good evening. Is it on?
It's on now.
It's on. Pauline Tatum, special education teacher, 2025 Randy Snow Road.
Yay, special ed.
Yeah, Sunset High School. Today, I am here to bring some inspiration to you. Please welcome the first FRC special needs robotics team that competed in the FRC. I know time is limited, but I wanted to tell the board the importance of STEM. Last year, Robo Flash, we were the first team, but this year, as a teacher and an educator, it was my responsibility to step up my game. And as I applied for grants to participate in the first competition, it cost $5,000. And we did have naysayers that said they could not do it, but let me tell you the good thing. You have special needs students, autism, learning disability, nonverbal, vision impairment, Down syndrome, all together We started with 8, now we've gone to 23. We walked in the board. I have given you a copy of the article, DallasInnovates.com. I hope you all will read that article. They featured this team. We competed against 58 teams. We won 1 game, we lost 6, and we tied for 1. But I want you to meet Tony, who calls me Granny, the driver. I want you to meet Javier, who's the builder. I want you to meet Virginia, who's my test driver. And I want you to meet Alexia, who's the graphic designer. She designed RoboPlay. In the article, you can see different pictures of the competition. And I want to say the first match we won, but we lost by 5 points. Our robot was turned the wrong way, and I ran to the bathroom and cried. But they told me, come back, get it back together. But let me tell you, STEM, it works. These kids can do it. Yes, I stay from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, but it's worth it. It's worth it. I just want you to see progress. It can happen. We also are part of STEM inter-VEX competition as well, but I want you to know that you can brag. We're official 6751, and we have a team that competes the first in Texas. We're going back next year. Although it costs $5,000, I'm going to get the money if I have to auction my car off. So we're going to get it. So thank you.
Jay Hara. Thank you. Jay here, Barbara, followed by Pat Stevens. Pat Stevens, followed by Enrique Chavez. Okay, Enrique Chavez.
Okay, hold on just a second, please.
Hi, my name is Shakir Barba, and I attend Miller Earhart Learning Center. And I'm really sad that we're about to go to Alana Martinez. And I want to say to Miller Earhart and please leave us there and have a heart and leave us alone. And we passed the STAR test, but nobody recognized us.
Pat Stevens. Okay. Is that Pat Stevens?
All right. To the board and to all the trustees and to the president, my name is Pat Stevens. I live at 3643 Gallagher Street, Dallas, Texas 75212. I'm speaking on behalf of keeping Amir Earhart where it is and not send our babies to Martinez. We have lost a lot of our West Dallas children to charter schools. If DISD trustees would have our schools to stay in good shape, we would not have lost our children to have a good public education with accredited teachers. On the topic of moving our little babies from their neighborhood school, Amelia Earhart, our 5th grade students scored high on their START test. They was questioned on their honesty. No school have ever scored high without cheating. And that was an insult to our students and our parents. We have good qualified teachers and we want to keep them there. This is an example of how we need to stay at Amelia Earhart. What will kids get as an incentive for giving up their school to a magnet school? I understand that DESA board money will follow them to Earhart, that's if they go. And so board, I'm asking you, where is and why is the money not following Earhart kids to go to Martinez? That's if they have to go there. So y'all ask yourself, where is the money that's going to go with the Earhart kids? Give them some kind of incentive. If you're going to send them away from their neighborhood school, give them some type of incentive for going. Thank you.
Enrique Chavez, followed by Debbie Solis.
Muy buenas tardes, mi nombre es Enrique y voy a decirlo en español para mostrar la inconformidad que hay en mi comunidad y la falta de información que se les ha entregado. Vengo representando a los padres confundidos de Emilia Earhart que se moverán a una escuela Martínez próximamente. En ese lugar, en ese distrito, en mi comunidad, hay una enorme confusión. No ha llegado la información correcta. Yo personalmente me han silenciado en 3 o 4 miles y no me han dejado hablar. Y entonces mi gente y mi pueblo está confundido y no están completamente decididos a la movilización que se le está haciendo forzosamente por falta de información que no llega en español a todos los padres de esa escuela. Yo pido, exijo y suplico a ustedes, señores, por su ética profesional, por lo que han llegado a sentarse al frente de nosotros, a minuciosamente investigar y detener ahorita temporalmente la movilización de nuestros niños, porque hay dolor, hay tristeza, hay lágrimas y sentimientos encontrados, ya que nuestro distrito está atacado por tantas cosas. Hay mucha incertidumbre en los hogares de esa área, muchos de ellos perdiendo sus casas, algunos de ellos de la enorme corrupción que está alrededor de nuestro distrito, y lejos de eso ahora los esfuerzan a moverse de una escuela cuando no ha llegado la información. Mi punto de pararme a hablar en español para que ustedes que no entienden mi idioma también se sientan frustrados como mi gente que no entiende inglés se ha sentido. Señores, les pido y les suplico, pues en nombre de los padres de mi área y de mi escuela, que detengan temporalmente esa movilización para llamarlos a negociación otra vez a la mesa, porque cualquier política pública que sea compartida y no son invitados los afectados y los beneficiarios, no es buena para la salud de los hombres y mujeres que queremos tener en el futuro. Queremos gloria, queremos victoria. Qué bonitos aplausos, qué hermoso lo que ahora hemos mirado. Eso también quiero ver en West Dallas, en Ledbetter, la parte que ha sido olvidada y atacada, ignorada. La formación no está llegando a las familias. Mi punto de vista es suplicarles clemencia. Hay personas que perderán sus casas. Hay muchas cosas que están pasando dentro de la mente de mis niños. Están frustrados. Muchas gracias por darme ahora una oportunidad. Quiero decirle brevemente, he estado 90 días queriendo hablar al frente de ustedes y he sido silenciado y no he escuchado en ninguna ocasión que me he presentado en los mires. Por favor, por su ética profesional, les suplico y les pido minuciosamente una investigación para determinar por qué la información correcta no llegó a mi familia hispana. Muchas gracias y muchas gracias por verme invitado. Espero que me hayan puesto atención.
Debbie Solis. Debbie Solis, followed by Sharon Brown.
Good afternoon. My name is Debbie Solis. I'm here. Thank you for giving me the time to be here. Board of Trustees, Superintendent Hinojosa. The last time I was here was March the 23rd, 2017. And that day, I came with about 40 people from West Dallas to tell y'all not to move our children from Amelia Earhart. That night was a very sad night for me because I realized that even though we voted Miguel Solis in, that you did not listen to him. He represents us. And that night, he told y'all that he had gone to speak to the community and what we wanted, and you totally ignored him and disrespected everyone I brought here. So tonight I did not come in the van. I just came as a community person living in West Dallas all my life. That you need to start listening to the community. We voted Miguel in, and you should have listened to Miguel, what he said that night. And that's why I am here today. Our kids need to stay in Amelia Earhart. Those kids should not be leaving to Martinez. Even though we love Martinez, those kids in Amelia Earhart are the only kids that walk to school. I'm a social worker out there, and I see that. I worked up there. I worked with Pat. I helped that school because that school was in need. And now they've done great. They passed the STAR test. And how are you helping them? By shipping them to another school. That is a disgrace to the DISD that you would be doing that. You should be telling them they've done great. You can stay at your school. And then what are you going to do? Bring DESA children that do not live in West Dallas to be at that school? So you're busing in other children into West Dallas? What is you're telling my community that our kids do not matter. That's what you're telling us. They do not matter. You need to realize that what you're doing is wrong. That we just talked about somebody being racist. This is what I see here and on May the 23rd when I came. You rather have kids come in with money than take care of our kids at Amelia Earhart. So I'm here to tell you that you have to leave our kids there. You've treated them like second-class citizens. And that day I felt terrible for the people I brought here because some of them had never been to a meeting, and to leave crying out this community, I can take it. Some of those have hard times. I've been blessed. I have a good family. I have a husband. I can provide, and I live there. I love it. I could go somewhere else, but I'm staying there. But what we need tonight is for you to reconsider what just happened with our kids. Just like Pat said, she lives in that area also. You need to get together with Miguel and listen to him. We voted him for a reason, because he's our representative and he wants the kids to stay there. So get a meeting together, get a meeting with all of us here, and let's discuss what needs to be done to keep our kids at Amelia Earhart. Thank you for your time. God bless you. And go home and think about it, because that day you hurt our community. We're hurting already. People are having a hard time there, so please help us.
Ms. Solis. Sharon Brown, followed by Edwin Crittenden.
Good evening. Superintendent Hinojosa, Board of Trustees members, my name is Sharon Brown. I live at 8917 Jenny Lee Lane. I have been blessed to be the parent team leader, band mom, for the Skyline High School Raider Band program. I have been very fortunate and careful not to embarrass my grandson, who is a member of the Skyline High School Raider Band, and as well as the school children too. I wanted to share with you what an awesome band program we have at Skyline High School. The many opportunities and experiences the children have been given is unmeasurable and invaluable. To speak of a few highlights, such as being the designated pep band for the Omni Hotel downtown, as well as Los Canelas, has made repeated visits. Not only being the WFAA Channel 8 pep band for the Back to School, I Am School hashtag program. Also, these children, 100 plus, got up at 4 a.m. in the morning to be at their school for the Channel 11 early morning program pep band. Not only the Southeast Chamber of Commerce Commerce Parade, the televised children holiday Christmas parade, which is an invitation only, and to be invited back to back each year. Also, these kids got on 3 charter buses to travel to Louisiana and Mississippi to visit 4 colleges. This is also under the direction and the leadership of an outstanding band director staff as well as our principal. The motto here at Skyline High School is that hard work pays off. There has been numerous colleges who have come to Skyline to interview the children to become future scholars at the schools as well as band members of their program too. The integrity, respect, and honor is continually being built into the children by the band staff, leadership, and the principal. The children, parents, the parent support team have a willing spirit to follow good leadership and guidance when the band director, staff, and the principal not only speak, but walk the same message they have given to our children. As the motto says at Skyline High School Raider Band, hard work pays off. Thank you.
Edwin Crittenden, followed by Evelyn Carter.
My name is Edwin Crittenden, 1116 South Lake, DeSoto, Texas, 75115. Property owner in Dallas, president of the Next Intel Corporation. We come here as the David W. Carter Community and Alumni Group. We stand before you being part of the manifestation of all of these passionate minds and these passions that you see here tonight. We were able to matriculate through Carter for the time that we had and come to love that institution. So what we've come to now is we've come to a time to where we're able to come and give back. We're able to come and give back in the form of resources, in the form of time, energy, and also expertise. We've come to a crossroads now where we have the opportunity with the retiring of Mr. Fred Davis, who's served us for the past 5+ years. We have an opportunity to hire a new principal. We come here as this alumni and community group asking that the board be able to lend whatever influence, lend whatever opportunity it has to speak to the point on backing Miss Monica Harris Smith, who was also an alumnus of Carter High School, graduate of 1990. She's unparalleled in her educational prowess. She's served in various districts in the Metroplex, some of the highest profile districts, Crowley, Plano, Dallas, Duncanville, DeSoto. She is without question the greatest possible candidate for this position at Carter High School at the moment. And we ask, please, that you hear us. Mr. Jones, sitting here, I ask again that you would hear us as we ask that you would see us standing in solidarity, asking that Miss Monica Harris Smith be placed as the next principal of the mighty David W. Carter High School. Thank you.
Evelyn Carter, followed by Trina Blair.
Hi, I'm Evelyn Carter, 124 Ida Week Lane, Dallas, Texas, 75241. Why does one become an educator? I became one because I was touched by a teacher or administrator along the way in my school career that motivated me to be the best that I could be. Just to name a few, Ms. Baker from T.G. Terry Elementary, Ms. Medlock, Coach Walton from Atwell Middle School, Mr. Joseph Brew, Mr. Leslie Williams, Mr. Douglas Baskin, Miss Annie Nelson, Mr. Hill, and although she was a student at the time, last but not least, Monica Harris Smith, all from the great David W. Carter High School. The year was 1988. I was a shy, timid freshman, blessed enough to be in Monica's clarinet section of the mighty CC Marching Machine. At the time, she, a junior, demanded excellence from me because she saw something in me. She pushed me to study my music so I wouldn't have to go to the practice field with paper music. When I didn't play the right notes, she would take me to the side to teach me the proper fingering in order to accomplish the task. She had this air about her when she marched in the band. I emulated that. After I perfected that, my mom was able to pick me out of the crowd, out of that whole unit. Once she graduated, as salutatorian from David W. Carter, she went to Prairie View where she became drum major of the Marching Storm. Yet again, she had the same drive and passion to be a cheerleader for her band and demanded excellence from her peers. After graduation, she became a math teacher, some of that at Carter High School, became a school counselor, assistant principal, curriculum director, and now associate principal. She knows the inner workings of a school. She knows what needs to be seen in classrooms to ensure proper, deep instruction is being taught. She knows that the true, strong relationships between schools, families, and the community are essential to the academic success of our students. Education is a shared responsibility between school, families, and community. And all these three will work together with Monica Smith as the principal at Carter High School. With her being the leader, the educators that will be under her will come to embrace the idea and concepts that adequate instructional hours are needed to help our students be successful. She is still a drum major. She will be a drum major for Carter High School, although in a different capacity. This time she will be marching towards excellence, marching towards community involvement, marching towards bringing valuable alumni relationships back to the school. It takes a special person to know Carter High School. Monica Smith knows Carter High School. We are Carter. I am Carter. Monica Smith is Carter.
Trina Blair, followed by Dwayla Howard.
Hello, my name is Trina Blair. I live at 1500 Blue Grove Road in Lancaster, Texas. For now, I'm purposely looking for a house in 75232 because my second grader said that we got to get Carter together so she can go there. I'm here to speak for David Wendell Carter High School, the Almighty. And it has so much history in it. Now, I personally did not go there. I personally don't know Monica, but I know these people, which the majority are teachers and facilitators. They're all educated. All of that came out of David W. Carter High School. My bigger concern is that I was the previous PTA president. I'm not the current. I'm the acting Booster Club president right now. And I'm at the school all the time. I have a graduate in 2017 that's coming out, a relative. And then I have another one that's coming out in 2019. And my concern is for the needs that I see at the school. We need someone who is innovative. We need someone to understand that a forklift certification is not adequate enough for our children. We need someone that will be able to properly run these STEM programming, the NAF academies that we have. We need all of these things. Now, I can't speak on Monica, but what I can say is that we definitely need a seat at the table with the decision on the principal. We demand the seat. If anything, the person that's supporting our community, and we need them to be a partner with us and not someone who is against us. And that's my only mission, is to properly have Carter taken care of with the proper principal. We got the money. We love our trustee. She's helping us to get the school back in order. We need someone who's going to be able to properly helm the ship to be able to get it where it needs to go. And that's where I'm at with it. Thank you for your time.
Dwayla Howard, followed by Stephen Poole.
Good evening to the board. I'm Stephen Poole, 1828 Shady Glen, Dallas, Texas, 75232. Earlier I emailed some documents to the board so that you all could see them. And what they were just an email list of track records of how we've been involved since probably 2011. But we could have gone back to about 2009. Saying that, it shows how this community has actively been involved in virtually every movement that Carter High School has made. From pathways, before we started talking about putting pathways into the school, to collegiate schools, before the district talked about putting collegiate schools into Carter High School, to being engaged in the process for reopening D.A. Hulsey, creating a committee to help Ms. Foreman actually come up with the STEM concept that the district used, even though they didn't use our proposal. I'll leave that alone. But I'm saying that to say our community of students, our community of parents, our community of alumni, all come from very educated backgrounds. And we've always tried to follow the proper protocol for everything. In doing so, what we found is following the proper protocol has not allowed us to have the things done for our children that we need to have done. I keep hearing the phrase, follow the protocol, follow the protocol. At this point, what we realize is that everybody has an idea about what the Carter High School should have. And I've seen the last 2 to 3 administrators over the last 15 years. And the school has gone further and further down since the era of Joseph Brew and Leslie Williams. That's a lot of going down. What a lot of you keep talking about is charter schools. What you forget is before charter schools was the suburbs. The individuals that are my age who have children are the ones who will send their kids to Carter High School who live in the suburbs. The reason why you put more money as far as the bond into Carter was because of the geographical area. Now, what y'all fail to realize a lot of times is that when you leave the key component out, which are the parents, which are truly educators, and the killing part about it is a lot of the educators in this district went to Carter. But they won't put their kids in these schools. They keep them in Cedar Hill, DeSoto, and Duncanville. We're waiting for a leader at the school that we trust, that we know has the experience. Dr. Hinojosa, we've emailed Mr. Jones, who's responded. We've emailed Stephanie Alizalde, who has yet to respond. We had a conversation with the correspondence department. The issue that we have a lot of times is, for whatever reason, for our community, people tend to think y'all know better for our kids than we do. In this situation, Ms. Foreman and I differ, and she knows I love her to death. But in this situation, if you don't have the right administrator, you won't have the kids that you think you're gonna have at that school, because most of their parents are our friends. That's what y'all keep missing. It's about relationships. That's what you learn in business, word of mouth. That's how it happens. We're asking for a sit down with the teachers and with the staff and the kids and parents in that area.
Thank you. Bianca Guerrero Contreras, followed by Ralph Jenkins. Okay. Ralph Jenkins. Tony Chinabert, followed by Matthew Barnaby.
Hello, my name is Tony Chinabert, First Vice President of Alliance AFT. I live at 900 Knollwood Drive, DeSoto, Texas. The problem of race in America has been a divisive negative issue for centuries. In 1870, Frederick Douglass gave a speech in which he stated that America would not reach its full potential as a great nation until the race problem was resolved. Nearly 150 years later, we are still asking the same question. How do we resolve the issue of race in America? I believe it is only through education, just as Frederick Douglass believed in 1870. Instead of educating our children about race and diversity in America, our educational system has chosen to distort, hide, reshape, or completely ignore the true history of race and diversity in this country. We must come together and tell the true stories of overcoming this plight of oppression. We must tell our children the many stories of courage and heroism, of perseverance and will that has led African Americans from the prisons on the shores of West Africa to the Oval Office of the White House in America. It is a story that has the potential to inspire our children and give them hope. Not only must we teach the stories of African Americans, but we must also tell the stories of Mexican Americans who have played an essential role in the development of America as well. Their story must be told, especially here in Texas, where their impact is so enormous and so important. It is only through the telling of these terrible, horrible, but heroic and inspirational stories to every child in America black, white, Hispanic, Native American, Muslim, Jewish, Asian, etc., that we can begin to develop a serious knowledge and knowledgeable and fruitful dialogue about race, the race problem in America. Education leads to tolerance and acceptance. Ignorance only leads to fear and exclusion. In the light of the recent tragedies that have occurred throughout our nation, including the horrific attack here in Dallas on our law enforcement officers, a serious and productive dialogue must begin. With this in mind, I propose that the Dallas ISD trustees instruct the administration to adopt and implement a successful ethnic studies program that begins in the 1st grade and goes through the 12th grade. We don't want to be dealing with this problem 150 years from now. Frederick Douglass is quoted as saying, "It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men." Dallas should set the example for all public schools in America by implementing an ethnic studies program that will, I believe, make a positive difference for the students, educators, citizens, and future leaders of our city, state, and nation. We all deserve that. Thank you.
Matthew Barnaby, followed by Pastor Maxie Johnson.
Good evening. I think it's appropriate with Memorial Day coming up. We recognize Mr. Resendez's past service in the Army. He's a tougher man and more decorated than I am. And thank you for all sitting all through all of us speaking. I've been enjoying this wonderful little circus called the ISD board meetings for the past 20 years since I was a junior at the Business Magnet in 1997. But we need to have a discussion as a community instead of just yelling at each other in all these meetings. And that's an individual. That's what I came to speak about, just offering my personal and professional experience, you know, from being in Japan through being a first-hand veteran in the Arab Spring, and coming back all the way literally via Bagram, Afghanistan with my first epileptic seizure. And I'm sure Mr. Fernandez, like I am, is receiving disability payments for going all the trauma service and stuff. And so, let's have that discussion as soon as possible, both individually and as a community as much as possible. 2 months ago, maybe about a dozen people spoke about non-existent proposed layoffs for librarians. Even after a decade of this African American initiative, many black children are still continuing to score some of the lowest test scores in the ISD. Have we had enough? Why aren't we talking to each other? That's my question. Why do we have to shout each other at these meetings? That's a serious question. I'm right here. Now, I could go to every school board election and get out my DD 214, throw all my credentials, and if I really wanted to cause chaos more than constructive, discussion. But, I just simply, want to be friends with all of you if possible. I want to have another, Dallas version of Arab Spring, and I know what that's like. I mean, we're not. It's DISD is just a microcosm of our national and global society, and I know the bureaucrat mentality. The bureaucrat mentality is not saving money. I used to carry a $100,000 government card, and very few people are given incentives to actually save money. So if we can save money ourselves, we can help each other in our budget. Thank you.
Pastor Maxie Johnson, followed by Clara McDade.
Good evening to the trustee board. My name is Clara McDade. I am the president of the Howland Hills Community Liaison Association, and I want to talk today about South Oak Cliff High School. South Oak Cliff High School has a great big spot in my heart. My thing is, we want a new school for South Oak Cliff, no renovated school. Students at South Oak Cliff High School should be moved to Village Fair while the new school is being built. Survey has been done and the community spoke loud and clear. In 1969, I was an administrator at South Oak Cliff High School under the leadership of Dr. Todd, who was one of the finest principals Dallas could have ever had. South Oak Cliff is 70+ years old. Never any major changes. We want quality, accountability, out-of-date equipment. Quiet as it kept, we're still in segregation. Safety for our children. We're talking about mold, rats, and untasty water. This is not comfortable for our children who are trying to learn. Our present head administrator at South Oak Cliff has canceled events that have been in place for years. Students and parents are outraged. We need effective, strong leadership. We support strong schools, strong Dallas. We will stand with any group that is for equality. My grandson is a student at South Oak Cliff High School. He is an A student. He complains about the water, the food, the out-of-date equipment, the fungus, the mold, the mildew, the rats, the administrative staff. Not much can he do, but there is something I, as a grandparent, can do. To our decision makers, it's not difficult to do the right thing. Put yourself in a student's place. Would you be comfortable learning under those conditions? Also, my last thing, please consider this request. Every school that has a NAF academy should have a work-based coordinator. Thank you.
Arthur Fleming, followed by Crystal Booker. Crystal.
Good evening. I'm an educational diagnostician for the Individual Evaluation Department. We're currently housed at 912 South Irvay in the Pegasus Complex, but we are being displaced next week due to plans to open the City Lab High School at this location. I'm here to share our concerns regarding the proposal to move us from our central staff status to campus-based. We have operated under the current model for over 25 years and managed to serve the needs of our students, families, and schools successfully. Consequently, we were shocked and dismayed to learn that the working model would be dismantled. According to the proposal, we will no longer have a central office. Our directors are currently asking school administrators to provide appropriate office space on their campuses. We've asked many questions about how this proposal will be implemented. However, no one seems to have any answers. This proposal does not appear to have been completely thought out. On behalf of my team members, I want to share the following concerns. Did the district and schools consider the cost involved in providing the technology, furniture, and supplies we need to operate efficiently and effectively on each campus? Our current central staff model allows us to be deployed to campuses with the greatest assessment needs. The campus-based model will limit this flexibility and hinder our ability to conduct timely evaluations. The campus-based model will leave us open to be assigned to duties that interfere with our primary job responsibilities, causing a delay in the assessment and identification of students with disabilities. Delays in the assessment and identification of children with disabilities increase parent complaints. We currently have approximately 1,100 students waiting to be evaluated, and this number grows daily. Delays in the assessment and identification of children with disabilities lead to the students' continued academic failure and retention. Delays in the assessment and identification of children with disabilities cause an increase in disciplinary issues due to our failure to address the needs of students with emotional and/or behavioral difficulties. Delays in the assessment and identification of children with disabilities results in the denial of FAPE, a free and appropriate public education, and an increase in our dropout rates, and an increase in student failures or retention. Our central staff model and office location provides immediate access to the technology, tools, supplies, and support we need to perform our jobs efficiently and address the needs of our campuses. Leaving our campuses to access these resources, conduct assessments at other schools, consult with other professionals about shared cases, and participate in required trainings causes a delay in the assessment and identification of children with disabilities. We ask the board to take the time needed to consider the implications of this proposal and the effect it will have on our students and our ability to perform our jobs efficiently. Thank you for your attention.
Our last speaker is Robert Chacarelli.
I guess you saved last for best. I'm going to be talking about something real quickly about what needs to be done to address to Mr. Hinojosa. Mr. Hinojosa, you're doing the same mistake as Mike Miles. You need to get involved with the students as far as discipline, hard work, and accountability. No one ever talks about the students, what they need to do. All this money being spent, if they don't do the hard work, nothing's going to happen. All of you need to get changed right now. Get to your schools, set up an auditorium meeting with the school board member and the principal, and lay down the riot act with the students. That's the only way it's going to happen. Because Mike Miles failed in doing that. He talked about the principals and teachers, but never about the students. Mr. Hinojosa, you have to have more passion. Okay? You got to show more excitement. School board members get together with the principal. If they don't do the work, nothing's going to happen. I'm going to tell you why. I sent you emails directed to 2 school board members about Lincoln High School. The ex-principal, Leslie Swan, talked about one problem. Only 20 students showed up for tutoring, meaning they don't want to do the work themselves. So I suggested, why don't you do a block schedule? Listen up, Mr. Hinojosa, take down some notes. Mr. Michigan, you know what I'm talking about, especially Dr. Blackburn. 60 minutes of instruction, 30 minutes of tutoring in a block schedule. That means after each period, the teacher will do the homework helping the students. And that way, they get the work done during the classroom and not outside of the classroom. Leslie Swan was very, very specific. They don't do the work outside of the classroom. Okay? Now also, what I want to talk about is about the ACE program. I think it's an excellent program. If you mix it with the enrichment program, which Leslie Swan came, I want to listen to this right now. Leslie Swan, get the speech out on in January 2012. She did a speech in front of the school board. Flores was here. Michigan, I don't know if you were here, but Blackburn was here. And she talked about exactly what's in the emails. Blackburn, you got a copy of it. I wrote to you. It's identical. She got it from me. I repeat, she got it from me. And I saw Leslie Swan. She said she got it through research. I said about 50 times already, Dr. Blackburn, Michigan, you know about it. I gave you the newspaper article. Okay? So what I'm trying to say to you is 2 things. I got 30 seconds. Make sure you get involved with all the schools. Get to the auditorium. The principal and the school board member lay down the law with the students. Please do that. All this clap with money, if they don't do the work, it's a big waste. And also, make sure there's tutoring after each subject. Change it to a block schedule. It works. Bernadette Nuttall mentioned when she did the enrichment program, when she was running again, Lincoln got out of IR.
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr. Chacarelli.
I'm gonna follow up on it. Thank you very much.
This concludes our speakers.
Thank you. Trustees, I'm going to ask unanimous consent to take the agenda slightly out of order at this point. My understanding is that Trustee Nuttall is returning from the award ceremony that she was at. Would like to be part of the District of Innovation discussion. So what I would like to do with unanimous consent is to take item 5 at this time, starting with item 501, Superintendent's Report. Then we will go to item 5.03, Individual Board Trustee Reports, and then come back to 5.02, Board of Trustee Committee Reports, and then back to item 4. Any objections? Okay, no objections. Trustees, we are up to item 5.01, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Hinojosa.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Several things to report on. First of all, you're all going to be involved in the graduations. The best time of year for high schools in America is when our students finally get to complete high school, and I know you'll be attending those events. Everything else I'm going to talk about is regarding school, regarding the legislature. There are several bills that are winding down. It is coming down to an end of the session, and there are several bills that we have been monitoring that impact us significantly. The school finance bill is dead. It's House Bill 21 was being proposed, and it was to structurally change school finance because of impasse between the Senate and the House. That bill is now dead. Second bill regarding our actual budget, it's the only bill that actually has to be passed. It was laid out today. The session ends next week, and it was laid out today. There is no increase to the basic allotment as we predicted. Luckily there is a $5 million increase for P-TECH, but many other programs have been cut. We might get a very mild, moderate increase in revenue only because of what's called the Austin yield and recapture. But the only good news in this legislative session is that Senate Bill 22 has been sent to the governor. That involves P-TECH and doing the official designation of many things we've heard about from many speakers tonight. Another slight increase in funding is a new instructional facilities allotment. When you repurpose and open new schools, you get a little bit of startup funds. Another big policy that's been debated is the bathroom policy, and the lieutenant governor has said he's not going to accept the House version of the bathroom policy. So that is either going to have nothing be done, or it's going to go to a special session. The A through F legislation, there will be no delay. So some of you that love A through F, it will go into effect next year. There are a lot of discussion about making changes and delays and implementation and finding the unintended consequences. Those were all defeated. There are some changes, structural changes through A through F, but those are still being debated between both chambers. And there's going to be a conference committee that's going to consider 22 items in the next few days. The Dallas County Schools legislation, Senate Bill 1122, ran out of time. The clock expired. However, Senate Bill 2065 and Senate Bill 1566 picked up that entire bill in its form and was adopted and through both chambers, and now it goes back to the original committee as it has been amended, and those items have to be agreed to in the next few weeks. There was legislation to only have tax ratification elections in November. That legislation has not passed, and it is probably going to die. There has been a lot of legislation, many bills that have been introduced that would not allow a district to have any flexibility in a district of innovation regarding the calendar. So far, all of those bills have been tagged and none of them have passed. However, that legislation could still appear similar to the Dallas County Schools legislation that got tagged onto another bill, although the time is running very, very short. And so we're at the end of the fourth quarter. We're at Hail Mary time in the 2-minute warning of the legislature. And there's so many big decisions that have not been decided that can still change in the next 72 hours. So apologize for that gloomy but brief report, but that's kind of where we are. And that's my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Hinojosa. All right, in accordance with our recent decision, we will move to 5.03, individual board trustee district reports. Trustee Pinkerton.
All right, so I'm going to try to bring a ray of sunshine to our meeting now, talking about District 7. Earlier, you met the RoboFlash robotics team from Sunset High School. Another Sunset High School robotics team is the 2017 UIL Robotics State Champs for the Conference 5A, 6A in the First Tech Challenge Division. And those students traveled to Austin last week. They competed in the event. They designed, built, programmed, and operated robots that competed head-to-head with other teams. So congratulations, Sunset, on both your fantastic robotics teams. It's been a banner month for Bowie Elementary. Dallas ISD 2017 Counselor of the Year, Amy Cole, is from James Bowie Elementary. So congratulations to Ms. Cole and to the school. And then just a few hours ago, we recognized the district-wide winner of the 21-day challenge that promotes healthy eating. It's sponsored by Children's Medical Center and Kroger schools and our Kroger grocery stores. And Bowie, once again, was the district-wide winner of that challenge. So congratulations to Bowie, and thanks to Ms. Foster, the PE teacher who sponsored that program. At Quintanilla Middle School, a science teacher, Marcelo Magoni, is the winner of the TI Innovations in STEM Teaching Awards. It's a $10,000 award, and it consists of a $5,000 personal award and a $5,000 professional award that will be used for professional development or STEM education technology or resources for his classroom or the campus. Last week I was at Peeler Elementary. They were awarded $3,500 from the MoneyGram Foundation to pay for books for the students and to boost reading. They partnered with a nonprofit organization called First Book. And so it was a wonderful event. It was outdoors. All the students heard inspiring talks about the importance of books. And then Ryan Hollingshead of FC Dallas showed up, and the excitement level really climbed. He started talking Captain Underpants, and it was all over. So each student received a book, and we want to say thank you to MoneyGram. They've donated a total of $25,500 to Dallas ISD schools for the program. And then finally, a big thank you to the employees from Mercedes-Benz Financial and Sprouts who helped plant a garden at Stevens Park Elementary earlier this month. The project was coordinated by Real School Gardens, and it really provides great value to our students to take their learning outside of the classroom.
Trustee Nuttall, welcome.
Thank you. District 9. Kudos to the 5 gifted male dancers from Booker T. Washington High School for the performing and visual arts, accepted to study dance at the Juilliard School, one of the most prestigious performing art universities in the nation. These 5 Dallas students are among only 12 of the school to its annual freshman class. Todd Baker, Cad Cummings, Michael Garcia, Ricardo Hartley, and Zane Younger. 2 of these students, Todd Baker and Cad Cummings, are also 2017 Presidential Scholars in the Arts. Lincoln High School staff and students are over the moon with the announcement that 2 students, Craig Jackson and Kayla Johnson, are recipients of the 2017 Farewell to Success Scholarship. The $20,000 scholarships are awarded based on academic performance, extracurricular activities, community involvement, and financial need. Craig plans to attend the University of Texas next fall to study accounting, and Kasia is headed to Texas Christian University to pursue a degree in mass communication with a minor in Spanish and deaf education. The counseling staff of the District 9 schools received the Lone Star Award for Excellence from the American School Counselor Association. Thanks to the counselors of Billy Earl Dade Middle School and Richards Middle School and Armand Renhal Young Women's Leadership Academy for the outstanding work on behalf of our students. Also, I would like to announce Zakia Fleming is the first African-American student to be valedictorian at the Armand Renhal School. So yes, we're excited about that. I want to salute the cafeteria team at Henry B. Gonzalez Elementary, who won the Food Service Department Heart of Child Nutrition Award for the 2nd year in a row. Great things are going on in District 9.
Thank you. Trustee Solis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Bryce Butler kicked off his summer reading challenge this week by challenging students at District 8's David G. Burnett Elementary School to read. The reading challenge, presented by the Rashad Jennings Foundation, serves more than 20,000 students across the country by partnering with NFL players who serve